Sheryl was replaced. They fired her. They kicked her off the game because it's Caitlin Clark.
A few months ago, Sheryl Swoopes spoke with absolute certainty, like she had a crystal ball, declaring that nobody wanted to play for the Indiana Fever. She called it a dead end, insisting that Caitlin Clark wasn't capable of attracting top talent. And she didn't just say it. She said it with her whole chest, as if it were an undeniable truth. Fast forward to today, and what do we see? The Indiana Fever just pulled off one of the biggest free agency moves in WNBA history. A game changer, a statement signing, a player with undeniable talent, legendary status, and the power to shift the entire landscape of the league. And Sheryl? Suddenly, she's quiet. Have you ever seen someone disappear after talking so much? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now. The Fever just sent a message loud and clear to the entire WNBA. This isn't a dead end, it's the start of something big. So let's break it all down. How did Indiana flip the script? What made elite athletes choose the Fever? Let's dive in and analyze the game-changing moves that just shook up the league. A few months ago, Sheryl Swoopes spoke with unwavering confidence, like she had a crystal ball, like she knew the truth. She boldly claimed that nobody wanted to play for the Indiana Fever, calling it a dead end. She even went as far as to say that Caitlin Clark was failing to attract top talent. And she didn't just say it. She said it with her whole chest, as if it were an undeniable fact. Fast forward to today, and reality has made her words age like milk. Because what just happened? Indiana pulled off one of the biggest free agency moves in WNBA history. A statement signing, a power move, a player with legendary status, generational talent, and the ability to shift the entire balance of the league. And Sheryl? Well, now she's awfully quiet. Have you ever seen someone disappear after talking so much? That's exactly what's happening right now. But before we break down how Indiana just shook up the WNBA, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss out on the latest WNBA news, expert commentary, and history-making moments like this. We've got every angle covered, so make sure you're locked in. Click like, hit subscribe, and let's get into
destination. And I can't help but laugh. People online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in
what Indiana just did in free agency. It's nothing short of a masterclass. They didn't just sign players, they rewrote the entire blueprint of how to build a championship-caliber team. They didn't hesitate. They didn't second-guess. They went out and dominated free agency, making moves like they had an unlimited budget in a video game. You know that feeling when you're playing franchise mode, and you stack your team with every top free agent, building a super team just because you can? Yeah, that's exactly what Indiana just pulled off, but this isn't a simulation. This is real life. So how did they do it? What made elite athletes suddenly want to play for the Fever? What does this mean for the future of the WNBA? Indeed, that is exactly what went down. Indiana didn't just make moves, they made power moves. They landed elite talent.
A lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Players who could have gone anywhere, but instead, they chose the Fever. Let's start with Natasha Howard, a champion, a lockdown defender, and a versatile scorer who brings grit and experience. Then there's DeWanna Bonner, a 6 feet 4 inches walking bucket, a seasoned veteran who can take over games at will. Sophie Cunningham, she's got that swag, that energy, that edge. A relentless competitor who fires up the team with her trash talk and instant impact. And then there's Sydney Colson, not just a locker room leader, but the glue that holds a team together, the kind of player who makes every squad better. And guess what? That's just the beginning. These aren't just role players, they're game changers, elite athletes who had options but chose Indiana. But wait, didn't Sheryl Swoopes say this would never happen?
No, but players who will be free agents, there's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Let's rewind for a second. A few months ago, she sat on a podcast, speaking with full confidence, making it sound like the Fever were doomed. She didn't just speculate. She flat out declared that no serious free agent would ever sign with Indiana. She didn't just criticize Indiana, she went all in. Sheryl Swoopes didn't speak with hesitation. She spoke with certainty, conviction, and confidence, as if she had the final say on the fate of the Fever. She painted a bleak picture: locker room dysfunction, a toxic culture, a team so unappealing that free agents would rather go anywhere but Indiana. She made it seem like the Fever were trapped in a losing spell, destined to remain irrelevant.
Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career.
But here's the thing. Reality just smacked her in the face like a runaway freight train. And it hit hard, because the Indiana Fever didn't just survive free agency, they dominated it. They didn't just sign a few players, they completely transformed their roster. The narrative has been flipped on its head. Indiana isn't begging for talent anymore. Talent is lining up to join them. This team doesn't look like a struggling franchise. It looks like a future powerhouse. Let's talk about who actually signed. Natasha Howard, a battle-tested champion, a defensive monster, and a versatile scorer who brings elite experience. DeWanna Bonner, a 6 feet 4 inches walking bucket, a fearless competitor, and a veteran leader who can turn the tide of any game. Sophie Cunningham, a trash-talking, energy-bringing spark plug who lives for the big moments. And then there's Sydney Colson, not just a locker room presence, but a culture builder, a glue player, and one of Aya Wilson's closest friends. These aren't just good signings. These are franchise-changing, history-altering, power-shifting moves. And the best part? Swoopes has no choice but to sit back and watch it all unfold, right before her very eyes. A few months ago, if you had told her that top free agents would be fighting for a spot in Indiana, she probably would have laughed you out of the room. But guess what? She got it all spectacularly wrong. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie trying to make a name for herself. She's a trailblazer, a game changer, a phenomenon. Her impact isn't just about the jaw-dropping numbers on a stat sheet, it's about momentum, influence, legacy. She's not just here to play, she's here to elevate the entire WNBA. Think about it. How many rookies have this kind of gravitational pull? How many young players walk into the league and immediately change the perception of an entire franchise? Caitlin Clark isn't just giving Indiana a scoring boost, she's shifting the power balance of the WNBA. She's turning a team that was once dismissed as a dead end into a destination for top-tier talent. And the most mind-blowing part? She hasn't even played a full season yet. Take Sydney Colson, for example. When asked why she chose Indiana, she was brutally honest. Kelsey Mitchell played a role in her decision, but she had also heard nothing but praise about Caitlin Clark from her Aces teammate Kate Martin. That speaks volumes. When veteran players start taking notice and actively choosing to play alongside a rookie, you know something special is happening. This isn't just about basketball, this is about belief, about trust, about a vision for the future.
It's going to be Caitlin Clark flash show, Caitlin Clark flash show. So it's going to be phenomenal playing with a point guard, like you said, that have a good vision.
During one game, the commentator began to exaggerate Caitlin Clark's incredible achievements. What do you know, too? For a whole minute, Swoopes sat there in utter quiet. No words, no acknowledgement, awkward silence. The success of Caitlin Clark at the most prestigious university that is comparable to the WNBA history may not be the only aspect of her story. There is no denying it. Just a yes as a candidate. The Fever are putting the WNBA on notice because of teams that have already shown their value and are motivated to win rings. Please realize that this is just the start. The Fever's front office has been the kitchen. Indiana is already far ahead, creating a dynasty from the ground up, while other teams are stuck in neutral, attempting to decide what to do next. Not simply talented athletes are being acquired by them. They are putting together a team that can rule the league for many years to come. This is the best possible combination of strategy, execution, and vision. It is not arbitrary. I also got some advice to help anyone who is still unsure about Caitlin Clark. Because this is only the start. Her full potential is still unrealized. Additionally, the Fever will worsen after she joins the league. The momentum is unstoppable, the experience is growing, and the synergy is growing. The fall of the old guard will live on forever when Caitlin Clark wins MVP in the second season. The justifications, conflicting stories, and last-ditch efforts to minimize her influence will all be hilarious. However, the outcomes will speak for themselves regardless of how loud the detractors are. It will also be deafening if Sheryl Swoopes doesn't reveal Caitlin's name. Because even the most ardent skeptics will have to admit the genius that is taking place right in front of them when the wins keep coming in and the rewards start flowing in. The Indiana Fever are there to dominate the game and alter its result, not just to play. Furthermore, because this train isn't stopping, you might want to get out of the way if you haven't already boarded. There you have it, people. The Indiana Fever have completely upended the WNBA. Sheryl, what about Swoopes? Silence is loud, to put it simply. The novelty that Caitlin Clark and her team are creating will just have to be accepted by the detractors. But I'd like to hear from you. Will Indiana emerge as the next WNBA powerhouse as a result of this free agency? Who do you believe Caitlin Clark is still seeing? Kindly leave your remarks in the space provided below. I'm reading every one of them. To ensure you don't miss any updates, hit the like button, subscribe, and enable notifications before you leave. We're looking at every WNBA move, game, and public opinion. And for now, that's it. I'll be tracking every hot take in the WNBA, so keep an eye out and stay excited. And for now, that's it. I hope to see you at the next one, and stay tuned and excited.